这个故事如果你听起来不累，那么你的听力水平在生活中是完全够用的。要持续提升英文，记得点击订阅按钮。我们开始吧。
The old man looked at the boy and felt his heart jump, because it was like seeing his own face from long ago. In a small town in England in the late 1600s, people did not have cameras. They did not have phones. If you wanted to know what your father looked like when he was young, you had to listen to stories. You had to study the lines on his face and try to guess which ones were new and which ones had always been there. One cold morning, a farmer named Thomas stood outside a stone house. Snow rested on the roof. His boots were wet. Inside the house, a baby cried. Thomas was not a man who cried. He worked in the fields from sunrise to dark. His hands were rough, and his back hurt most days. But when the midwife opened the door and said, "It's a boy," his knees felt weak. He stepped inside. The baby was wrapped in cloth and placed in his arms. Thomas stared down. The tiny nose, the sharp chin, even the small line above the right eye. His wife laughed softly and said, "He is the very spit of you." Thomas frowned. "The spit of me?" he asked. She nodded. "Yes. Like you were split in two, and he came out the same." Back then, people often said spit an image. It meant a person was the exact copy of another. Over time, the words slid together. Spit an image. Then spit an image. And at last, spitting image. Language moved like a river. It changed shape but kept its meaning. Thomas did not care about words. He cared about what he saw. He felt as if a mirror from the past had opened. He could almost see himself as a child, running by the river, falling in the mud, laughing with missing teeth. Now that child was in his arms again, breathing, warm and real. Years passed. The boy, named William, grew fast. He had the same dark hair as his father. He walked with the same long steps. When he laughed, the sound filled the yard in the same way. Neighbors would stop at the fence and shake their heads. "He's your spitting image," they said. At the market, old women would tap Thomas on the arm. "You must be proud," they would say. "It is like time has turned back." Thomas would nod, but inside he felt something more than pride. He felt fear. He knew his own temper. He knew how quick he was to shout. He knew how hard it was for him to say sorry. If William was truly his spitting image, would he carry the same fire? Would he make the same mistakes? One summer afternoon, that fear came alive. William was 10 years old. Another boy pushed him near the well. Without a word, William punched him hard. The other boy fell and cut his lip. Blood hit the ground. Thomas ran over. He grabbed William by the shoulders. In the boy's eyes, he saw himself at that age. The same anger. The same heat. "Why did you do that?" Thomas asked. "He pushed me," William said. "I won't let anyone push me." The words struck Thomas like a stone. He had said those same words to his own father many years before. The memory rose fast and sharp. His father's tired face. The hard slap across his cheek. The long silence at dinner. In that moment, Thomas felt the past and the present meet. If he lifted his hand now, the circle would close. The same pain would move from one face to another, just as clearly as their shared nose and eyes. He lowered his hand. Instead of shouting, he said, "Strength is not in your fist. It is in your choice." William looked confused. No one had spoken to him like that before. The other boy was helped up. The cut was small. The boys stood apart, breathing hard. That night, Thomas sat by the fire. He thought about the phrase people used so lightly. Spitting image. It sounded funny, almost rude. Yet it carried deep truth. Children often look like their parents. They carry the same hair, the same walk, the same smile. But they can also carry the same fear, the same anger, the same dreams left undone. As the years moved on, the phrase traveled too. In busy streets of London, people used it in taverns and shops. "She is the spitting image of her mother." Sailors took it across the sea. In America, farmers and workers used it the same way. The words felt strong and simple. Anyone could understand them. You did not need books. You just needed eyes. In a small town in America in the 1800s, a schoolteacher named Mary heard the phrase from her students. A new girl had joined the class. Her father was a well-known baker in town. The girl had his round face and bright eyes. "She is the spitting image of Mr. Clark," the children whispered. Mary watched the girl closely. The child also had her father's shy smile. When she read out loud, her voice shook just like his did when he spoke in church. The town laughed at Mr. Clark for being nervous. Mary wondered if they would laugh at the girl too. One day, a group of boys began to mock her soft voice. The girl's face turned red. She looked down at her desk. Mary felt anger rise in her chest. She remembered how people had once laughed at her own mother. Mary stood up and said, "Being someone's spitting image is not a joke. It is a link. It is a gift." The room fell silent. The girl slowly lifted her head. That small moment changed something. She began to speak louder over time. She still had her father's face, but she built her own voice. The phrase kept living. It moved through wars, through hard winters, through cities full of smoke and noise. Parents would smile with joy when they saw their baby's eyes match their own. They would also feel a quiet worry. What else would match? In the 1900s, with photos and later video, people could compare faces side by side. A father would hold an old black and white photo next to his son and laugh. Spitting image, he would say. The words now felt warm and playful. Yet the heart of them stayed the same. We see ourselves in others, and that can both heal and scare us. There is a story from a small farm in the Midwest. A girl named Anna loved to run. Her mother had once been the fastest runner in her school. An injury ended that dream. When Anna ran across the field, her mother watched from the porch. The wind moved Anna's hair the same way it once moved her own. "You are my spitting image," the mother said one evening. Anna smiled. "Is that good?" Her mother paused. She could have said, "Yes, you will be just like me." Instead, she said, "You look like me. But you will go farther." That sentence broke an old chain. The girl did run farther. She won races her mother never had the chance to enter. She carried the same strong legs, but she walked a new road. The phrase spitting image may sound simple, almost silly. It likely grew from spit and image, shaped by fast speech and time. Yet it holds a deep mirror. It asks a quiet question. When someone says you are the spitting image of your father, your mother, your grandparent, what does that mean? Is it only your face, or is it your habits, your fears, your way of loving, your way of giving up? Each time the words are spoken, there is a small spark. A child hears them and may feel proud. A parent hears them and may feel both joy and worry. The past stands close to the present. Look at your own family photos. Maybe someone has told you that you are the spitting image of someone older. Maybe you see it yourself in the mirror. The same eyes. The same smile. The same way your brow moves when you think. The face you carry is a gift from the past. The choices you make are your own. You may be someone's spitting image, but the story you write does not have to be a copy. It can rhyme with the past, yet still sing a new song. And that is where the real power lives, not in the nose or the eyes, but in the path you choose to walk.
能以非母语者的身份专注学习到现在，这本身就是很棒的进步。真诚感谢你的观看。如果你觉得本期内容实用，点赞或留言让我知道你的想法，这对我持续创作非常重要。我们下期见。